So, in addition to going through the article, I do have a problem with my voice as part of chemo, so you'll notice through the series that my voice gets pretty weak. But my voice is a little bit stronger than my fingers and my hands right now because of the side effects of the chemo treatment. Okay, so I think that the premise, that the argument, or that Mary Jane Norris bases her argument on, or her thinking on, is the idea that language is a lot more stable, a lot more concrete and unchanging than it really is. In philosophy of language, we really look at the relationship of experience, how we organize that in our head, how we communicate that idea or concept or message to the other person, and then how the other person takes that idea and refocuses it in the mind in such a way that we're really not sure if we're talking about the same thing or whether we have a functional understanding of the communication. I don't know of any scientific way to verify that we have the same exact idea. I mean, there's a tradition of dualism that goes back a long way to George, from Descartes, I am, I think, therefore I am, to George Berkeley's there's no such thing as reality. We're all mental images. You know, the matrix kind of concept. So the nature of language itself is really got to be brought back to the forefront of this conversation, and I think philosophy of language is probably a way to get that conversation happening. So my first interest in Norris's article is, where do we start in our understanding of language? I agree with the anthropology around language is culture, language is how we orientate ourselves in the world, and so forth. I'm not against that. I agree with it. But I think that the dynamics, the nature of language is important if we're going to start understanding that language changes. How we spoke Algonquin 100 years ago may not be how we speak today. And that's okay, We have still a number of Aboriginal native speakers of the language to teach my generation and younger generations Algonquin as a second language, which is becoming increasingly our only option. And then I'm formulating in my mind the notion of Algonquin as a third language, where, you know, somebody like me doesn't live in Maniwaki, so I don't speak the language on a daily basis. But as a philosopher and somebody who's studying philosophy, the study of a word, the study of a concept within the context of the Algonquin culture, an Algonquin language, word, concept within the context of the Algonquin world, both past and present and evolved, is important for me to dig down deeper into the ideas of the Algonquin language in whatever way it shows. So I'm kind of thinking about Algonquin as a third language in that sense. It's late at night, I'm tired, and that may be an idea that I might forget for tomorrow. So those are my reflections so far on the article.